Wait, where am I going? I'm not going in the right direction. Did I forget to edit something I should have edited? I have a sneaking suspicion I did. Oh wait, no, hold on. Did you say that was the 5th base or only the 4th? No, this must be only the 4th. Reminds me of a part in Earthbound where you're fighting 5 moles and each one of them claims to be the 3rd strongest. And of course they are all exactly the same strength. Because it's the same enemy. Yes, and they all say that they're the 3rd strongest as if, this is something to be especially afraid of. You'd think that they'd try to make you afraid by saying that they're the strongest. Yeah, so this is where the moon cave was. For some reason, the cave has disappeared. I'm going to put on something else because it's cold in here.
Another benefit of doing the recording beforehand.
What?
Another benefit of doing the recording beforehand, you can just randomly put a jacket on.
Oh, I have put clothes on or taken them off as the temperature warranted during live commentary sessions. I have done that before. I mean, I'm generally in my bedroom where my clothes are anyway, so it's not like I have to leave for a long time. So the reason why I made it night and then day was because the Nameless Man will only make 1 vase per day. So this is his last one. This is the 5th one. Hey! I don't know why Isun's so surprised to see him this time. It's the exact same person who's been there like every time we've been here.
It's like, hey, 3 inches to the right since we last saw you.
I don't know, maybe it's just a different... They just say different stuff because this is the last one. Naive simplicity. Yeah, I guess it does look kind of simpler than the other ones. Makes me think of the gun blades in Final Fantasy VIII. It's like they get more and more elaborate, and then the last one looks simpler than all the rest. Of course, it also kind of looks like a lightsaber. Or a laser sword.
10-foot laser pole.
Yes. I got Herrin into this comic this webcomic that I've been reading called Darths and Droids. Basically, the premise is Star Wars as a tabletop RPG.
It's amazing. It's so amazing.
And what I really like is how they explain stuff that was, not especially coherent in the Star Wars movies. For example, or stuff that was just, not done well in the movies. For example, Jar Jar Binks is the invention of the little sister of one of the players because they couldn't get a babysitter, so she just made up a character using a child's imagination.
One of my favorite ones is the one with Anakin at the council when he's a kid, and he's talking to Yoda, and Yoda's like, "Afraid, are you?" And he's like, "A little. Fear is the path of the dark side. Fear leads to anger, but anger leads to passion. Passion leads to jealousy. Jealousy leads to nurturing. Nurturing leads to weakness. Weakness leads to humility. Humility leads to injustice. Injustice leads to heroism. Heroism leads to pride. Pride leads to patriotism. Patriotism Totalitarianism leads to power. Power leads to suffering. Don't like suffering. I sense much fear in you. It's so good.
Going from Baltimore to Washington, D.C. by way of San Francisco.
Lifestyle of a marshal put an easy one, man. But actually, exactly what I became. Like, only just started back to work.
One might say he's a Harry Potter. Alright, so now I'm back in Hana Valley to get the treasure chest that I totally missed, even though it was really obvious last time. Now, of course, it's not going to be this obvious this time because it's daytime now, which means there won't be a super shiny. I realize this fact, and eventually, I can't find the thing, so I make it nighttime.
Oh, is that daytime? It doesn't look like daytime.
Yeah, once you beat the second to last dungeon, the day is almost as dark as the night. Because, I don't know, it's like a solar eclipse or something, which just made my head hurt. Because solar eclipses never last longer, or total solar eclipses never last longer than like 8.5 minutes. In real life. Like, I should say, a solar eclipse is not total from any given location for more than 8.5 minutes or so. I forget when exactly, maybe 2017 or 2018. In a few years, there's going to be a solar eclipse that's a total eclipse, like, right across a big part of this country. It's gonna, like, It's gonna be a total eclipse visible from, like, the northwest through the middle of the country and then the southeast. And I hope that I have the ability to travel to somewhere along the path of the eclipse. So this is in Agata Forest. There's this little side path that has a clover that I couldn't get to before because you need Catwalk to get to it. And as we know, the more powers you need to get to a clover, the more praise it generally gives you.
Now, if I could ask you something, what is your favorite thing about Let's Play? What is the thing that keeps you coming back to do more LPs?
It's the humor value. I mean, yeah, I like to show people how to get through a game, but when I haven't played the game before, as in this case, that's obviously not the primary focus. I want stuff to be funny.
Yeah.
Like, I've been watching a lot of multiplayer videos recently, both competitive, the Versus channel, I don't know if you know about that.
Yeah, Josh Jepson
and cooperative, the Runaway Guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, Josh Jepson and Attacking Toucans. Someone made a really funny, like, 54-second cartoon, because in one of the videos, Super Mario 64, this is in Tsuta Ruins, by the way, there are 3 stray beads and I got none of them on my first time through. So I'm showing the whole sequence so that, because I found it a bit confusing, like, the descriptions of where this stuff was. It's like, I would have known a lot more easily where these were if it were my first time playing. Because that was the way the descriptions were written in this guide. Yeah, someone made a 54-second video based off of something that Tyler said in one of the videos. He's like, because he's in Jolly Roger Bay and trying to get 100 coins, so he's getting one of the red coins that's in, like, one of the clams' mouths, or not a mouth, but inside one of the clams. He's like, open your mouth, say ah, and Josh says, I'm not opening my mouth for you, and he says, Tyler says, "You're not a clam, are you?" He's like, "I could be." Tyler says, "I'm trying to imagine you as a clam," and that's what this whole video is based on. The animator, I don't know who the animator is, but it's really funny. Like, if you want to find it, search for Josh is a clam.
Oh, to John Groban. I know that guy. He's a cool guy.
Who did?
To John Bro.
You'll have to spell it for me sometime.
It's TEHJONBRO. To John Bro.
Oh, Ted, like the mistyped the.
Yeah, the John
okay.
Bro. He's a. I've seen one of his LP videos. He's an LPer, and he's actually doing Metroid Prime right now. He's pretty good.
I think that would be a great game for Versus, Metroid Prime.
It really would. That'd be a fun one to do.
It's a good length, and there's like lots of, and it's, you know, fairly linear, and there are lots of ways to screw it up.
Yeah.
You know what? It just occurred to me. I could actually like do something like that because I now have, you know, a setup that can actually handle being on Skype and recording at the same time. I couldn't do that before.
That'd be a good idea.
Raikou Rider versus me in Metroid Prime. That would be pretty funny.
That'd be really cool.
Raikou Rider has a number of what he calls torture LPs. In other words, watch him torture himself because he's not really good at the game. The Metroid Prime games fall within that. In particular, the battle against Thardus in the first game. He actually beats him on his first try, but it's just... he screws up so many times within the battle, like just standing there as Thardus is bowling into him. Running out of missiles. And his guest commentators, of course, are having a field day. How could you miss the most biggest rock on his back with a super missile? He didn't actually miss, but it sort of looked like he did. So I went through a fair bit of this before I got any stray beads because I couldn't figure out what those descriptions meant. So as you can see, I have been playing for a while since I use a new save file every recording session, so I've been going almost 3 hours between the 3 times I've recorded. And oh, it's one of these trees that I didn't bother to take care of. These are trees that try to hit you with stuff. You have to hit them with their own thing and then bloom them to get them uncursed. A lot of times in this game, if there are several things of the same type that give you praise, the last one will give you the usual amount plus 10. Like that one gave me 13, most of them give you 3. I think that's maybe to let you know, okay, you've gotten all of them in this area. Like, okay, I'm not finding stray beads yet, but I'm getting a lot of other stuff.